At my sister's wedding reception, her speech cut deep. My sister's just a single mom no one wants. Guests laughed. My mom smirked. She's a used product. Then the groom got up, seized the mic, and the room froze. I'm 34, a single mom living in a 2-bedroom apartment on the edge of town. I work mornings at a coffee shop slinging lattes and nights at a hotel front desk checking in tired travelers. It's not glamorous, no Instagram filters here, but it's mine. I make Luca pancakes on Saturday mornings, sew patches into his jeans when he rips them skateboarding, and he calls me his superhero. That's enough to keep me going. But in my family, I'm the black sheep, the one who messed up. My mom, Judith, she's all about appearances. Think Real Housewives vibes, always polished, always perfect. Vivian, my sister, she's the golden child, 5 years younger, gorgeous, successful, the kind of person who could sneeze and get a standing ovation. Me, I got pregnant at 25, thought I was in love, but the guy vanished by month 5. No note, no call, just gone. My family didn't ask questions, they didn't help, they just gave me silence and a side of I told you so. Still, when Vivian's wedding invite came, I said yes. Even though my name was spelled wrong on the RSVP card, even though I wasn't in the bridal party, even though I had to rent my dress and do my own hair in the bathroom mirror while Luca practiced tying his tie. I told myself it was for closure, maybe a chance to mend things. Maybe, just maybe, this was their way of saying, Lara, you're still family. The venue was straight out of a Pinterest board. White roses, gold tableware, a string quartet playing something soft and fancy. Vivian floated through the room like she was born to be the center of attention. She looked like a bridal magazine cover, all sparkle and smiles. When she passed me, her smile flickered. You made it, she said, like she was surprised I showed up. She glanced at Luca, added, he's getting big, and that was it. No hug, no warmth, just small talk before she went back to basking in the spotlight. My mom, she didn't even look at me, just glided by like I was one of the servers. Luca, though, he was in awe. He thought the chandelier looked like a spaceship, whispered that Vivian was a princess. Seeing him so happy made me decide to stay for the reception, even though I could feel that old ache of not belonging creeping into my chest. We found our table, number 9, way in the back by the bathrooms. Typical. I laughed to myself, helped Luca wipe chocolate mousse off his tie, and tried to ignore the whispers of my name floating over the clinking glasses. Then came the speeches. The groom's best friend went first, cracking some light jokes, getting polite chuckles. Then it was Vivian's turn. I thought she'd talk about love, maybe mention growing up together. I even raised my glass, ready for something sweet. I should have known better. She lifted her champagne flute, smiled like a movie star, and said, I want to thank everyone for being here. It means the world. Then she turned her gaze toward me. And of course, I want to say something special about my big sister. I smiled at Luca, who looked up at me with these big, excited eyes. For 1 second, I thought she might say something kind. Then she continued, her voice all sugary and sharp. Lara's been such a role model, a single mom, so strong, so independent, and clearly unwanted by anyone else. The room exploded in laughter. My stomach dropped like I'd missed a step on a staircase. I thought I misheard her, but she kept smiling, like she just delivered the punchline of the century. Some guests looked confused, but most laughed harder, clinking their glasses like it was all good fun. I couldn't breathe. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear it over the noise. Luca tugged at my sleeve and whispered, why did she say that, Mama? Before I could answer, my mom's voice cut through from her table, loud and clear. She's a used product, but hey, she still looks good for her age. More laughter. Sharper now, like knives. It wasn't just laughter. It was the kind that strips you bare, makes you feel like you're not a person anymore, just a punchline. I gripped the napkin under the table, my knuckles white, trying not to let the tears fall. Not in front of Luca, not in front of them. I looked around, desperate for someone to meet my eyes, to show me a shred of kindness. My grandpa Norman stared at his plate. My cousin was smirking at her phone. Even my uncle, who once said I reminded him of my dad, wouldn't look up. Luca's little face was crumpled with confusion, and that's what broke me. Not the words, not the laughter, the fact that my son, the kid I stay up late helping with math homework, the kid I kiss goodnight every single day, was watching his mom be torn apart by her own family. I wanted to grab his hand and run. I wanted to scream, to tell them they didn't know half of what I've carried. 2 jobs, sleepless nights, the weight of raising a kid alone while they judged me from their perfect lives. But my mouth was dry, my legs shaky. I was about to stand when I heard a chair scrape back. Callum, Vivian's groom, stood up. He wasn't smiling. His jaw was tight. His eyes locked on me. The room went dead silent. It was like the air froze. I didn't know what was coming, but I knew it wasn't part of the script. Let me tell you about Callum. He's the kind of guy you'd see in a Brooks Brothers ad. Polished, charming, the perfect match for Vivian's Instagram aesthetic. But right then, he didn't look like a groom playing his part. He looked like a man about to set something on fire. He took the microphone from Vivian without a word. The DJ froze. The guests stopped whispering. He didn't look at Vivian, didn't look at the crowd. He looked at me. Lara, don't go, he said, his voice low but firm, like he was anchoring the whole room. I stopped halfway out of my chair, Luca's hand in mine. Everyone turned to him. Vivian stiffened. My mom narrowed her eyes. Callum stepped out from the head table, walking toward us, each step deliberate, like he was pushing through quicksand. He stopped near our table, me, Luca, our cold salad plates, and faced the room. I can't pretend I'm okay with what just happened, he said. I won't stand here and let cruelty pass as comedy. The room held its breath. He turned to Vivian. You mocked your sister for being a single mom, for raising a kid without help. You laughed, and worse, you made her son watch it happen. Vivian opened her mouth, but nothing came out. He didn't wait. She didn't ask to be in that position, but she showed up today. She sat in the back, she smiled, She brought her son to celebrate your day, and you turned her into a joke. I'd never seen Vivian look small until that moment. Callum faced the crowd again. Laura didn't ask for a stage, she didn't ask for sympathy, but if I'm about to marry into a family that sees cruelty as humor and shame as tradition, I need to rethink what kind of man I want to be. A gasp rippled through the room. Someone dropped a fork. Luca's eyes were wide, looking up at me like I was the hero in this story. Callum looked at Luca, gave him the softest nod. Your mom's the strongest person in this room. Don't forget that. Then he set the microphone down, walked past Vivian without a glance, and left. The room was a vacuum. No music, no chatter, just the hum of the AC and the clink of a spoon against a glass. Vivian stood there, her perfect posture crumbling. My mom stood up, snapping, "What an ungrateful boy!" But her voice didn't carry. The spell was broken. I took Luca's hand. "We're going home, baby," I said, brushing his hair back. We walked out, heads high. People parted as we passed. Some avoided my eyes, others looked like they wanted to speak but couldn't. Halfway to the door, Grandpa Norman called my name. His eyes were red. "I'm sorry," he said, voice shaky. "I should have stopped it years ago." I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. I wasn't angry. I was done carrying their guilt. Outside, the air was crisp like a fresh start. Luca squeezed my hand. "Is the wedding over?" he asked. I smiled. "Yeah, buddy. It ended exactly how it needed to." We drove home, the radio off, just the hum of the tires and Luca tapping the armrest. I tucked him in that night, kissed his forehead, and lingered by his door, feeling something new. Peace. The next morning, my phone was blowing up. Missed calls from cousins, guests I barely knew. A friend texted, "Someone recorded Callum's speech. It's on Facebook. 50,000 views." I watched it. Callum's voice steady and fierce, standing up for me. The comments were a flood of support. "This man's a hero. She deserved better. Every single mom just got justice." I didn't cry. I didn't smile. I just felt free. Vivian tried to spin it, saying it was just a joke, that Callum overreacted, but the truth had landed. The wedding didn't happen. A few days later, a bouquet of wildflowers showed up at my door with a card to the lioness. No name, but I knew. 6 months later, Vivian and Callum were done. My mom called once, not to apologize, but to say I'd embarrassed the family. I told her I'm not your scapegoat anymore and hung up. Clean, simple, final. Life's still the same. Long hours, pancake dinners, Luca's endless questions, but I carry myself differently now. I don't hide in the back anymore. Luca's changed too. He talks about Callum like he's Captain America, even acts out speeches with his action figures, standing up for the little guy. One night, brushing our teeth, he asked, "Mom, are you still sad about what Aunt Vivian said?" I paused. "Not anymore." "Why?" He shrugged, toothpaste on his chin, "Because I think you won, even though it wasn't a fight." He's right. I didn't yell or make a scene. I just stood up, held my son's hand, and walked away. And someone else, someone I never expected, said, "No, not today." Callum didn't just defend me. He showed a room full of people what love really looks like. Not the kind in a tux or a white dress, but the kind that sees someone hurting and speaks up. So here's what I've learned. Being alone doesn't mean you're unwanted. Kindness isn't weakness. And dignity, once you claim it, no one can take it away. I didn't dance at my sister's wedding. I didn't toast or catch a bouquet, but I left with my son, my head high, and a quiet certainty that I don't need anyone's approval to know my worth. If this story hit you, if you've ever felt small in a room full of people who should have had your back, know this: you're not alone. Your voice matters. Your dignity matters. Drop a like if this resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and tell me in the comments. Have you ever had a moment where someone stood up for you or you had to stand up for yourself? Subscribe and hit the bell for more real stories that cut deep and remind us what it means to be human. Thanks for being here.